Tunos Decanos de Iberoamérica presenta Tudi Life. Iniciando en Bolivia, donde lo fantástico es real, volamos a Chile y su naturaleza sin igual. Caminamos a Perú y su imperio de tesoros escondidos, y unos pasos más nos sitúan en la mitad del mundo, el Ecuador. De ahí a Colombia, para tomarnos un buen café, y a Panamá para cruzar el puente de las Américas. Saboreamos las pupusas del Salvador y seguimos por la eterna primavera de Guatemala para llegar a México, patrimonio cultural. En Puerto Rico, nuestra isla del encanto, nos impulsamos hasta Europa, a Portugal, obra maestra arquitectónica, y caminando en España, de talento universal. No tenemos fronteras, somos Tudi, y aquí estamos. Ahora, tú dinos quién eres.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are located, either in this side of the Atlantic or on the other side where almost all our guests are coming from tonight. This is a very big challenge for us because it's our first show ever, our talk show in English. Because we think that in order for Tudi, Tunos Decanos de Iberoamérica, to in fact be a global fraternity and let's call it an association, we need to run the extra mile. So we need to make an effort not only to bring some awareness or extra awareness to this tradition that unites us all, but also to make people that are active tunos in some cases and that belong to active tunas in countries that do not speak Spanish or Portuguese to be and to feel at home and to feel that this is also their place. So in yet another huge challenge and yet another crazy idea, I must say, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our very special edition of Tudi Live in English. And tonight with me, or this afternoon with me, is Frank Chiroque from Puerto Rico. Hi, Frank.
Hey. I'm fine, man. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first show in English, to the English show. I think I never saw something like this, a program, a show like this. So I'm very happy today because I'm part of this. So in Puerto Rico right now it's hot. The summer begins, so I hope everyone is okay. You know, the pandemic is going down, so take care, always take care. And greetings for all my friends in Tudi and Tunos over the world.
Very well. So without further delays, let's start calling our guests. And what a panel we have today. We will be, as Tunos should be, gentlemen, and we will welcome our first guest, Julia Galle, representing Luso-Can Tuna from Toronto, Canada. Welcome, Julia.
Hello.
Hello, Julie.
Oh, first, very well. I forgot to mention that due to professional last minute impediments. Miguel, that usually he's here with us, won't be hosting the show with Frank and I. But yeah, he was substituted by Julia, so I think that we are winning already.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Miguel, for not coming today. Welcome, Julia. So I will also call our second guest directly from the Netherlands, from Eindhoven, Pepe Gijsen. Pepe, my friend, how are you?
Hello, all. Yes, I'm fine. And also here the weather is picking up rather fast. It's 26 degrees C here, although now it's 11 o'clock in the evening, so a little bit colder. But yeah, good enough to take a fresh beer during the program. And yeah, I hope we have a nice time today.
That's a very healthy advice that I give to all our viewers also. Hydrate. We need to hydrate. And beer is a very good option for that. So thank you very much for your always very healthy advices, Pepe. Pepe from Tuna Ciudad de Luz de Eindhoven. So now we are going directly to the other side, to the west coast of the United States. And we welcome Kiko, Francisco Amezquita, and some members of the Estudiantina Angeles de California. Kiko is a member of Tudi, as is Pepe. So it's a pleasure to have you here at this that is your house, and so well that you have also some members of the Estudiantina. Thank you very much for making the time to be here with us this afternoon or this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, right? Thank you. Be ready.
Okay, and also
Hello.
from Cincinnati, Ohio, our member, Pepe Guerra. How are you, Pepe? Welcome.
I am good. Great to see you all.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
This is not new for you. You've already been here, so
Yeah.
I am counting on you and our next guest to help us co-host this show tonight. So now we are going up north to Burlington, Canada, and welcome Erick Nettel.
Hello. It's great to be here with everyone. Following a little bit with the tradition, I don't know if you know, but in Canada, people always talk about the weather. So I will start talking about the weather, just as everybody did, and can tell you we are about 24 Celsius. We had some rain. It's not as bad, the heat. So, you know, it's fairly pleasant.
Hey, Eric, are you sure you're in Burlington? Because whenever it snows here, it snows there. Whenever it rains here, like today, it's raining there. Whenever it's sunny here, it's sunny there. Are you sure you're in Burlington and not close by here?
Yes, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, you know something, I think that some of the weather, we actually get it. I believe some kind of stream that passes through Cincinnati.
Yeah, well.
And some over here. So, yeah, I think usually when you tell us how the weather is, it gives me a good sense how it'll be on our own as well.
So I'm your weather guy.
Yes, totally.
You know that, and now I will, let's say it's a little bit of an in confidence, but we have a WhatsApp group in Tudi, it's Tudi International, and there is not a single day that either Eric or Pepe don't say, good morning from the sunny Cincinnati. That almost never happens, but sometimes it says from the sunny
Rarely.
Cincinnati and from the snowy Burlington. So it's almost our tradition. We cannot have a day that passes by without having them saying how the weather is over there. So Frank doesn't even say it because it's boring, and you know, it makes us really envy him. It's always sunny.
We have a saying in Cincinnati,
Exactly.
if you don't like the weather, just wait a few minutes. It changes.
Very good. So let's start with a small presentation from each and every one of you. Julia, can you tell me who you are, what is, and how you started with being a member of Luso-Can Tuna?
All right. So I'm Julia. I started on the mandolin and now I'm playing percussion. And the way I started in Luso-Can Tuna was it's kind of been an interesting story. So my grandfather, who's Portuguese, had an accident, and I told him that if he got out of the hospital, I would learn to speak Portuguese. So as he was getting out of the hospital, I still did not know how to speak Portuguese. and I was taking Portuguese culture classes, like Portuguese cinema and Portuguese mythology and stuff. So the Tuna came into my class one day and they said, we can teach you how to speak Portuguese. We can teach you an instrument. We can give you a sense of family, and we can make you more connected to your Portuguese culture. And I thought, that sounds good. So plus they had capes, and I thought that was so cool. So yeah, that's Friday. I went to a practice, and I've been there every single Friday since.
How long ago was it?
That was 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. And now we're practicing digitally.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's my story.
Very good. As always, I will start highlighting some of the comments we have here. So if you have any questions that you want to leave to our guests, please be our guest. And that's the best way and this is why this is a live show, is so that we can interact also with the comment section that we have either in Facebook Live or even on YouTube. So bring it on. We will need your input and your help from that side. And it definitely feels good to know that we are not talking to each other. Otherwise, we would be having a Zoom and not a StreamYard. So now, Pierre, my brother.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit of how you started in Tuna Ciudad de Luz. And you can also tell us how many years old is Tuna Ciudad de Luz, because it's already a quite vintage, I won't say old, but vintage tuna in Europe, even for European standards.
Yes, that's true. So first about myself, I entered the tuna in 1990. So that's 30, what is it?
Yeah.
34, 30 something years ago. The reason for it was a little bit similar to Julia. I saw some guys in very strange suits, never seen in the Netherlands. Looks a little bit like carnival, which we all dress up, which I like. So I saw these strange suits. I thought, hey, they're dressing up and it's not even carnival. This must be good. And they promised me free food and free drinks that I also like. And then they also told me that they would learn me how to play the guitar. So that sounded also like an interesting thing. So I joined. What they didn't tell me is that they would only teach me tuna songs. And in the beginning, that was a bit difficult for me. But I learned to appreciate it over the years and became a very fanatic tuno. My tuna is indeed a little bit older than 1990. We were founded in 1964. So we are over 50 years old now.
Very good. And also, Tuna Ciudad de Luz has one of the oldest, I can say, certámenes or festivals in Europe, the Tuna Festival in Eindhoven, which you've contributed and been in the organization for quite a few years now.
Yes, that's correct. I've been organizing this festival since 1994, and I stopped organizing in 2012, more or less. It's never something that I did alone. We always were with a big group, and we always did this together with the feminine tuna that's also based in Eindhoven, La Tunina. Mm-hmm. So we always organize these things together. And if we have a big festival, which when about 25 to 30 tunas sometimes come, which we call a big festival, then we have a group of 12 to 15 people organizing. Sometimes we organize smaller festivals with four tunas. Then we can do it with 2 people. That's not a lot of work.
Very good. Thank you very much. So now we will go to Los Angeles and to Kiko. Kiko.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amezquita. And my nickname is Kiko. A lot of people, they recognize me by the nickname. A lot of people, they don't know that my name is Francisco. That's what, Francisco? Well, that happened. I started in this beautiful tradition in 1984. in Mexico City, and one group was Tuna Real de Oro del Estado de Mexico. And then I was in that group for, I think, like 5 years. And then I asked for the opportunity to la Tuna Universitaria de la Ciudad de Mexico, Hurones. I was over there in 1 year only. I was the pardillo all the time.
It's enough. 1 year is enough.
The pardillos is the most excited position in the tunas. And then it's time to travel into USA, and then now in USA, almost like 12 years ago, we start with this project. First of all, because it's not a lot of people with this tradition, and the people that I know they like that tradition. They don't have a time because mostly everybody is working, and it's hard to put it together. But we started in one church making a choir with the little kids and boys and girls, and mostly everybody is more than 5. How many years you in the choir?
I don't know, like 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5. Yeah. How many years? 5 years. Mostly everybody's like 5, 6, 7 years. Now the age for the group is between like 14 to 23. This is most the age for the group. But right now we are like 22 introverts. 22.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay. So we will get back to that and to understand a little bit better how you started that, and more importantly than founding it and starting it, it's how you've kept it alive all these years, which is already impressive. But before that, let's pass to Pepe Guerra and to understand who is Pepe and how did you keep this connection to the tuna after all these years?
Well, I started the bug of the tuna got into me because I listened to a recording of the Estudiantina de la Universidad Autónoma de Querétaro. And I know Ángel Fernández, I just saw him.
He's here, yeah.
And the music was just so different. I mean, it was almost haunting to me, the guitars, the mandolins, the tambourine, the voices, the harmonies, and then the uniforms too. I thought, oh, that's very cool. So this was in maybe late 60s. Fast forward, I helped co-found an Estudiantina in Mexico City, then founded my own Tuna San Sebastián, the glorious one, and in 1979. And then I left Mexico City. I was working for a company called Procter & Gamble in Mexico City. They transferred me to Cincinnati, where the headquarters are. And frankly, I disconnected myself from my tuna because I just focused on my career as a professional, as an executive. I got married here, and everything was just centered on that. I mean, nothing else was more important to me because I was given an opportunity that very few people have of, working in one of the largest companies in the world and its headquarters. So to me, that was very important. Now, I didn't last long there, actually. I left about 10 years after I joined Procter & Gamble and stayed here in Cincinnati, worked for a few companies, started my own business. And then about 15 years ago, I just started thinking about the tuna again. I was at a different stage in my life then. And I thought, I wonder whatever happened to the guys. And by that time, I had figured out that Enrique Yoquique, who I know is on, had put together this Facebook page of our tuna. I said, oh, that's very cool. So I started interacting with them more. I started reconnecting with them. About the same time, I connected with a tuna in Spain, Tuna de Derecho de Valladolid. Now, unfortunately, it was through a tragedy that happened to them. One of their most popular members died in an air traffic accident up in Galicia. But somehow, I got connected with them, and that just started the bug again. Since then, I've gotten more and more involved. I mean, as you know, I'm part of Tudi. I've made friends all over the world. Through another organization in Spain. I made a lot of friends over in Spain and also in the Netherlands, because apart from our guests here, and I also know Misha, who and I become very good friends. So it just, it all came together. all of a sudden, I am back into it. I'm very connected with them. I treasure the friendships I've made across the board, not just in Europe, of course, Spain, Portugal, Holland, but now all over Latin America. And so to me, it's been kind of a second win, if you will, as a tuna.
Very good. Thank you very much, Pepe. Thank you very much. Erick, now, what about you? From Mexico to Burlington, and how did you keep that connection?
Well, I started first getting inspired by my older brother, who happened to be playing in the Estudiantina of the high school that we used to attend. And after he finished high school, I also became a member of the Estudiantina. So that's where I learned the instruments and, started getting more involved with the music. But when we were coming to the last year of high school, I really enjoyed the music. I really enjoyed the passion. And a few friends that played as well with me, we wanted to continue. Within the school, sometimes they would organize a festival of different Estudiantinas and Tunas. And in one of those, they invited Tuna San Sebastian. And we heard Tuna San Sebastian playing. And it definitely was an inspiration. Like, it sounded different than, some of the other groups. So we decided that we wanted to continue. So as soon as we finalized high school, we started Tuna Real de San Carlos. And, the rest was history. I played with the Tuna for about 10 years. Then in 1997, I was very fortunate to move to Canada. I had obtained a scholarship. I went to British Columbia and studied there for a year. And then met my wife in British Columbia. I actually met first my mother-in-law, who introduced me to my wife. That's another story. And then, was there in British Columbia for about a year, and then work brought me to Ontario. And, that's basically how we ended up here in Burlington. In terms of playing, once I was in Canada, it was a little bit more difficult to continue, with a group. I did play with some church group and used the mandolin, but it was totally different music. Nevertheless, that kept the ability going. And then finally, in some trips, I was able to reconnect with my tuna friends in Mexico City. And then at some point, Eduardo Cardoso also invited me to be part of Tudi. So when I learned what Tudi was, the fact that it brought, tunas, estudiantinas from all over the world, I was very excited. So I said, yes, absolutely, count me in.
Very good. And here we are. This is crazy. Every time I look at this screen and see the potential that technology nowadays really grants us. And the best part is that we are taking or making the most of it. We are really taking advantage of what the technology brings. I just sometimes wonder what would have happened if back in the 90s, we would have this appear. If instead of having, and this is now passing to another subject, when we were back and forth exchanging faxes for invitations for certificates and sometimes letters. Just imagine if we had this back then.
Including telegrams,
Telegrams, yeah. Or a phone number from the university that then they had to pass to the extension, and no one was ever there. So that happened also. So crazy.
Yeah. I remember calling mothers from students that still lived home and no English. So I have to try to connect with the mother of some tuna to get them invited.
And probably you only knew like their nickname, their mote from Tuna. So
indeed.
Can I please speak to Peter? Okay, no, that didn't sound that nice. I can imagine, man.
No, it was horrible. But in the end, there were tunas at our festival, so some things went well.
It worked. It worked.
So Pierre, in your case, Pierre, at the beginning, you know, I know you follow the tradition, the Spanish tradition in the songs and in the, you know.
Mostly, yes.
But I always think about that. Do you sing in Spanish and you understand everything what you sing?
I think 70% of my tuna has no clue what they are singing.
Okay. Okay.
But you sound great. You sound great.
Yes.
Well,
Exactly.
we practice the accents. But of course, with every song, we have the lyrics and we have the translation. So if people would take some time, they know the content of the song. But I believe that a lot of, especially the younger guys, they don't care. They just sing it, and later on they will learn Spanish because we go to Spain so often, and in order to communicate, and they make friends with other tunas, connections. They start to learn Spanish. So I think
what about you?
Sorry.
Sorry.
So about 30% of my tuna speaks a little bit English, and I think maybe 5% speaks it very well.
What about you?
Very good English speakers.
I was going to ask, is there a part of the language from Spanish that is quite difficult for the members to pronounce or to like with any language, right? There's always something that is difficult to learn. And
yeah.
Does that happen to you with the songs?
Yeah, so we are based in the south of the Netherlands, and some guys that come from this region, they have a difficulty to pronounce the R, the double R, R.
Yeah.
Basically, I think the Dutch language is so difficult for the throat that the Spanish will be okay.
But now one question. I know that you don't sing many, but at least I have a video of one, and I've already watched you guys play it live. It's Cantar de Imigração, one of the songs that we also play.
Yes.
What is hardest for you guys, the Portuguese or the Spanish to sing?
Portuguese, definitely. You have much more different sounds in your vocabulary. So,
but I think that they must be very a little bit more similar to the Northern European languages because of the influence of the Celts and Goths and Visigoths and all that. So I think that you would say that some of the sounds, even though they must be harder for people to understand, but are quite similar to, let's say, up north, more the Slavic languages.
Yes, I agree. So, for example, the au, so as you imigração, is a sound that is not really in Spanish, but you have to also think that we see the lyrics on paper in Spanish, and then we see it in Portuguese, and then it looks very similar, and then we make the mistake to use the Spanish way of speaking this word.
Go the practical way. You can say it, no problem.
The practical way. So when we started Cantar Imigração, we really needed the help of Portuguese people, as your tuna, to correct us in the way to pronounce it.
And at the end, the result was quite good.
I have a question. I have a question for. Oh, yeah, I have a question for Julia, actually. So I'm assuming you learned Portuguese, right?
I am in the process of learning Portuguese.
Okay.
Yes,
So in your tuna, do you guys sing in Portuguese or in English? Or excuse my question, it's a very ignorant one. I'm sorry.
No, it's not ignorant at all. We actually sing in both Portuguese and English. So sometimes we even have songs that kind of like have both in them as well.
Capa?
Like Capa, for example. just like certain words. Sometimes we sing in Portuguese, and we also have learned some songs in Spanish as well.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm assuming you've been to Portugal, right?
Yeah, I actually went to San Miguel in 2018 with the Tuna, and we played a festival with Tawa hosted us actually. So
okay, and were you them in Portuguese?
Pardon me, can you repeat that?
Sorry. Yeah, were you able to communicate in Portugal in Portuguese?
I personally had a little bit of a difficult time, but thankfully the Tuna was there, and the folks from Tawa were kind enough to speak in English to me. But I did my best, and that's what's important.
That's important. That's right. Yeah. Thank you.
In general, I think in general that Portuguese people speak English quite well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Or at least everyone who I met when I was there spoke very well. Yeah, so there wasn't really an issue in communicating, and most of the time you're just singing with each other anyways, and which is the universal binding factor, right?
Sure.
Yeah. What I find interesting, so you say you sing in English and in Portuguese. Mm-hmm. Are you writing your own songs? Are there songs available in English and Portuguese?
Yes, we have. We actually have a few originals. Like Carpe Diem is an original of ours that's in Portuguese. Kappa is also an original of ours that's in English, and like some Portuguese words in there. So yeah, we actually have quite a few originals. We have a CD called Carpe Diem, and a lot of our stuff is available online too. So I'll definitely link you guys after this. But yeah, we do have quite a few originals. Does everyone else have originals?
We don't.
Not us.
It's Hey, Kiko, what about Kiko is? Are you there, Kiko?
Yes, I'm here.
What about you, Kiko? Do you guys sing in Spanish, in English? What about?
Well, most of the songs we sing in Spanish. We try to. Well, it was a very good challenge because mostly they speak English, everybody, and they don't learn Spanish. And mostly the songs we start, we sing the song in Spanish, and then they try to read that song. But now they are professionals. They are bilingual, right?
Yeah.
Now, but mostly the songs we sing in Spanish, especially because that's the Spanish tradition. But now it's time to start singing in English songs, especially more our community and between Los Angeles and Orange County. I think it's like maybe 70% Spanish people population, but the other one is maybe 45 or 45% of the people they speak English. But now it's time to go to that way to start singing English. What do you think, girls?
Yeah.
So I have a question for your tunas back there. Now,
yes.
Jefes de Tuna, the directors, the bosses, whatever you call. I used to be one. We sometimes have a reputation of being, kind of dictatorial, and you're going to do this because you will. So is he a dictator? Is Kiko a dictator? No. It's okay. I mean,
Come on.
No, for most of the part, we do have fun and learning it all. Obviously, when things have to be done, well, then that's when we all have to But the majority of the time, it's more fun than anything. Like singing together, and we like following that tradition of the Tuna.
Okay. I was just kidding, really, but I mean, yeah, we do sometimes have a reputation of being, God, we want to kill this guy.
No, for me it was a huge challenge, big challenging, because the only instrument I was playing really good was is a guitar and the contrabajo or tololoche, the big upper bass. And then I was thinking, well, maybe they're gonna learn mandolin, but who's gonna teach mandolin? Me, right? And I'm start learning mandolin. As soon as I'm learning one song, okay, girls, I know what's this song. And then they pass the song, and then I learn another song, and they learn another song. And then when I realized they are better than that teacher, they play better than me. Then it's but now we make the transition to play with laúd and bandurrias.
Oh wow!
Challenging for us because I learning lute and mandolins, sorry, and bandurrias and laúdes, all the notes and chords and everything. And now to transmit, whatever I'm learning, and now they play really good. As soon as, as one example, let's go to play this time La Morena de mi Copla. And they say, what was the song? Let me put it in CD. And I put a CD, and they learn very quickly. Oh, it's go like that. It's faster. Those kids learning very, very fast.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So it's easy to find the instruments that you said, Kiko. You can find the instruments there in California, like laúd.
No, normally we order from Europe, from Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, we order from them.
And Julie,
we have is Alhambra instruments. It's not commercial, but
Alhambra.
Yeah.
Good choice. And Julie, what about in your tuna, the instrument that you use, the cavaquinho, for example, etc. Do you use that kind of instrument?
So currently, I think we have one cavaquinho, but I think that was from Portugal. And the mandolins, we're grateful enough to have like a amazing Portuguese community in Toronto. So we actually had someone who makes them here that we buy from him. And then guitars are fairly easy to come by. But in terms of those like more specialized instruments like mandolin, we had someone in the community who made them for us. And cavaquinho, I think we got from Portugal. And the other, we don't have any other instruments currently like that are specialized from Portugal.
Guitarra portuguesa.
Yeah, currently we don't have one in the tuna, but
okay,
that's a really beautiful instrument.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. We had Chris used to play it, and he brings it around every once in a while, and I'm hoping that someone else will pick it up soon.
I don't know if that happened to you guys, but when you buy a cheap instrument, especially in our weather in California is like very hot, and the instrument start bending or start breaking very easy. That's why we decide to buy good instruments with good quality, and now I think we save a lot of money.
Yeah. It's important to make sure that everyone is taking care of their instrument properly. Yeah. Like especially in Canada, it goes from so super hot to super cold, like in the span of like 2 weeks. So we all try to make sure that we're teaching everyone how to properly store the instrument, and the best way to keep your instrument like stored and kept well is to play it, right? So that's a philosophy on it.
You mentioned, Kiko, that you use Alhambra brand. In Tuna America, in my tuna, we use Alhambra brand for bandurrias, guitars, everything. So what about you, Paul? What kind? You have a special brand that you use in your tuna about the instruments?
Well, right now we have Alhambras, few bandurrias. I think that the brand is Almanza. The Almanza is the same partner, the Alhambra.
Alhambra partner, okay.
Yeah, Almanza. But it's nice quality. But the sound is really good. Guitars, we have Cordoba guitars, Alhambra guitars. We buy cheap guitars like when we start the first time. The guitars
like a Don Pablo for $30, something like that.
Well, I can tell you that the first mandolin I had was a really, really cheap one. And my dad said to me at the time, I'm not going to spend money in a good instrument because I want to make sure that you stick, right?
Yes, that's true.
But now let me tell you, it was so hard to press the chords against the fret that once you learn to play that mandolin, it was like, okay, give me anyone, it'll be very, very smooth. So,
yeah, that happened to my girls. She's Kimberly, and they play both laúd. But when they start learning with mandolins. The mandolins was very cheap, like maybe $40 for each one. But yeah, when I see the fingers, start pedaling and then I start practice. Oh my God, that's very, very tough mandolin. And then when they jump into to laúd and see the quality and the sound, and so wow, this is very nice. It's more comfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now I would like also about this question of the instruments and all that. One of the things that I would like to know, for example, starting with Julia, is that I know that your padrinos, your godfathers, the tuna is from Azores. Do you feel that you get enough support from the Portuguese tunas to your not daily activity, but do you feel that people in Portugal or tunas in Portugal support Luso-Can Tuna as they should, or do you think that probably we, and now I'm including myself, even though as a veteran, but I'm including myself in that, we should do more for you guys that are spreading the tradition over there? Be very direct, please.
I think we feel supported. We're putting on a live stream festival on June 12th with a lot of tunas from Portugal have sent us their videos, and we're going to be streaming them live. And I feel like when we reach out to tunas in Portugal, we're always welcomed warmly. And I think we do feel a lot of the support and a lot of the camaraderie. So that it's always really nice, especially with technology now. There's nothing stopping us from emailing each other and adding each other on Facebook and interacting in that way. So yeah, we definitely do feel the support, and it's obviously there is like a little bit of a difference. We are in Canada, they are in Portugal, but at the end of the day, we're trying to accomplish the same thing, and we love the same things. So that really, I think, brings us together in a way.
Also in terms of the instruments and trying to get some things that probably you only get it like in Portugal, like the cavatinos and braguesa and all that. That should be a thing that we should be immediately very supportive of you guys over there. So this is also for me to understand if there is something, not only as Tudi, but as Portuguese Tuno, that we can and should do more than we're doing.
Yeah, I think if we will definitely reach out to you even more moving forward. But I think there's, I think in terms of sometimes our trage even is like a really tough thing to do, because we have the suit and the vest and the skirts and all of that. Mostly it comes from Portugal, and we need to go to copy trage for our capas and everything like that as well. So fortunately, we have people in our band who do travel between Portugal and Canada quite a bit, so we're always using them for help. But if one day you want to help us out by sending something over, I think that would definitely be great.
That's good to hear. So now I will make the same question to you, Pierre, because even though let's say you don't have like a really like the Luso-Can Tuna, which has a padrino from Azores and all that, I feel that in Ciudad de Luz it doesn't happen really like that. So what do you feel that do you feel that support from Spanish tunas, where at the end of the day it's where you got the influence from, and it's where you got the tradition from, even though your tuna that you are hermanado with are us from Porto? So but do you feel that tunas in Spain support you if you need something? Do you feel that we could do a little bit more? for you guys in the diaspora?
I think that I have never felt not supported. I have never felt a stranger or anything. So wherever I have had late contact, or wherever we made contact, we are always welcomed with open arms. If we ask, we don't actually really ask for instruments. So it's an interesting thought. We are relatively close to Spain, not like the other side of the world. What would be interesting, personally, I'm looking for a nice vihuela, and we cannot find vihuelas, good ones in Europe. So if anybody has a nice vihuela, I'm here. But so the South American instruments like cuatro venezolano, vihuela, the guitarrón. Yeah. These are more difficult to come by, but there also the Spanish tunas cannot help us. So yeah, we use boliviamol.com. I don't know if you know it, but that's not the best place for the best instruments. But yeah, so it's a bit the South American instruments that are a bit difficult. But in the guitar or banduria, laúd is no problem, and also being welcomed. We are already a long time. All tunas know us, so I think
you don't need support.
Everybody thinks of us as one of them. I don't see any.
That's good. So now let's go to Kiko and ask the same thing to. Because definitely you are a Mexican tuno. So do you feel that you have? I will just ask. I don't know who it is, but if we could all use like earphones, because there is one of us at least. I know that Kiko won't be able to because he's in an open environment, and I tend to mute his mic. But if we can see which one of us is really feedbacking, let's see if it's yours, Pepe. Just 1 second. Yeah, I think it's better now. Pepe, if you cannot use an earphone, I think, or earbud or whatever, it will help a lot because we were having some feedback. So now, Kiko, back to you. And I was asking, you are a Mexican tuno. So do you feel that from the tunas, Estudiantinas in Mexico, you feel that support, you are supported as you should, and you feel that you are entitled to or deserve?
Yes, right?
Yes, very.
Tell.
From where is Guanajuato or Querétaro?
Querétaro.
Oh, from Querétaro. They invited us the first time, I think, like 2 years ago. Yeah, yes. To go sing with them, and I mean, it was an amazing experience for all of us. We were very welcomed. There was a whole plan set up for us so we can enjoy the time that we were there. And after that first time, I feel like all of us are younger than them because they're all way older. But yeah, they were very welcoming, and they invited us a second year, and we went again, and it was the same experience. And we do when we practice, there are times where we like FaceTime and stuff, so they can see us and so they know like what we are working on, because they are like our padrinos. So they're very inspirational to us, and they do help throughout the way. So yeah, I would say yes. Very helpful.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, Estudiantina de la Universidad Autónoma de Querétaro son los padrinos. They are godfathers on Estudiantina Angeles de California.
Very good. So now I have some videos that I have, and I would like to grab these words that you just said about you going to Querétaro to that festival, and you sent me the link of you guys being featured in the local TV. So I will just pass this video, and then I think that this will launch a new topic in our chat, which will be about the support that you feel locally by the communities that support you, and in your case, Pierre, in terms of the university. So let's start with this piece about the Estudiantina Angeles de California traveling to Mexico, and they were featured on TV.
La música de estudiantinas y rescatar así una tradición que dicen está a punto de desaparecer. Martín Plasencia nos trae los detalles.
Quizás usted ha escuchado esta clásica melodía. ¿O qué tal esta otra? Las canciones son antiguas. Lo novedoso es que son interpretadas por una estudiantina formada por alumnos del condado de Orange, principalmente de Santa Ana.
Compartir este tipo de música con muchas más personas para que se hagan más conocidos.
La meta de la Estudiantina Angeles de California es promover una música que casi no se escucha en este país y rescatar una tradición en peligro de extinción.
Desafortunadamente tenemos la mala idea de que nada más hay mariachis en México. Tenemos tríos, tenemos rondallas y también tenemos estudiantinas.
Las estudiantinas o tunas tienen sus orígenes en Europa durante la época medieval y estos grupos se componían principalmente de estudiantes universitarios.
Aquí se les enseña música, se les enseña la tradición de las estudiantinas y lo más importante que lo hacemos gratis.
Para mi opinión, sí se siente bien bonito estar en una estudiantina.
Por ahora, estos estudiantes se preparan rigurosamente para participar por primera vez en un festival internacional invitados por la Universidad Mexicana de Querétaro.
Nos hemos preparado con ventas, recaudación de fondos, venta de comida, hemos hecho de todo un poco.
Incluso este 22 y 23 de septiembre tendrán un evento de recaudación de fondos en la parroquia del Pilar para que la estudiantina no pierda su invitación al festival en México. En Santa Ana, Martín Plasencia, Noticiero Telemundo 52.
Y venga, santísimo fin de semana con condiciones.
Excelente.
It is very nice to see, and I know that for a fact that also Luso-Can Tuna has, and I have one report here made by a local TV of the Portuguese community. Correct me if I'm wrong, Julia. Gente da Minha, is it right?
I think it was Correio da Minha.
No, not Correio da Manhã. No, it's the other one. It's the other one's. But I will pass it afterwards. But what I would like to know is that do your because both Kiko of the Estudiantina in Los Angeles and you in Toronto, you are very connected to the expats or to the immigrant communities. And do you feel that support? Do you feel that reaction that they do really enjoy what you're doing for a tradition that's bringing them some of their homeland back then? Do you feel that? Do you feel supported?
Yes, we definitely feel supported. We attend like the Portugal Day Parade, and there's lots of support for the Portuguese community, from the Portuguese community in general in Toronto. There's casas here, there's like ranchos. So it's actually quite a big Portuguese community. We're very thankful that we have such a big and fruitful Portuguese community in Toronto. So it's great because we perform at each other's events, and we're all very connected to each other because we have that in common of being expats from Portugal and, having a little bit of saudade and missing Portugal itself. So we all kind of provide that sense of understanding and community for each other. And there's lots of support. There's no shortage of it. So it's we're very fortunate to live in a city with such a strong Portuguese community.
It's very good to hear. Kiko, now I would like to ask you the same thing.
Well,
and yeah, sorry, Catarina, exactly, gente da nossa. That's what I was trying to say, but I have a video also prepared of that to pass.
Okay.
Kiko, please.
Oh, okay. Well, she's going to do it. She's going to stay because she needs to participate. They're the future.
Yeah, please do. Please.
Yes, I would say that we do get a lot of support from our community and the people that do hear us, only because a lot of them are Mexican. And I know, like, I've heard that they'll be like, oh, I remember listening to Estudiantina, like, when I was younger. Like, just saying like little comments like that they remember like in the past, or like when they would go visit Mexico, like certain areas of Mexico, that they would listen to it. They're like, wow, like you guys really brought the tradition here, which is like amazing, you know, like it's something that not many people do. And yeah, I see that they really do enjoy it.
Very good. You, Pierre, I know that you, the Tuna Ciudad de Luz has a direct connection to the Technical University of Eindhoven, Philips. So that's a very strong connection you guys have there, because it's an universitary tuna, and you definitely feel supported throughout the years of existence. With I still remember when I went there for the first time, those parties that you guys held also in the lobbies at the university. So that connection still holds after all these years?
Yeah, it definitely holds. And also with the city of Eindhoven, we exist 57 years now, and everybody knows us, and also the tunia, the feminine tuna here. So if we are in our suits and we walk the streets, the people interact with us, they know us. Also with the bars and the restaurants and the local people, if we need to get money for festivals, the university, the government, they support us very well. Yeah, there's definitely still a very strong connection.
Very good.
And also, yeah, Spain is a very popular, and Portugal is very popular holiday country. So if we take on our suits, people recognize it from Spain, and even if they at first don't see that we are Dutch, they will immediately have the idea, Spanish music is coming my way. So it's always good. There's a lot of connection here.
Now I will tell one thing that probably many of our guests don't know about Tuna Ciudad de Luz, is that they have their own house, the Tuna House in Eindhoven. It's a building with rooms, showers, frikandels, beer all over, where sometimes when foreign tunas go to Eindhoven to visit them, they host them. We can stay there for during our stay, and then sometimes we take these guys also with us to Luxembourg and stuff like that. That still goes on. Explain them a little bit what a tuna house is.
Yeah,
I saw their faces. It's crazy.
Yeah, so the tuna house. So in the Netherlands, it's very traditional that if you go study, you don't live with your parents. So you go out to the city where you do your study, and then you live together with a bunch of other students. Let's call it dorms, like in the US. We have these houses, and one of these houses is what we call the tuna house. There's 8 people in this house, and five of them, maybe at this moment even 6 of them are members of the tuna. So every performance starts there and ends there. So if we are hired for a wedding, or we go out just for fun to the restaurants, or we are hired by Philips to play at a meeting there. We start at the tuna house and we end at the tuna house. So that's easy for the 8 guys that live there, and it's convenient to start there, to put our bicycles there, cars and everything. And so that's basically the center of our universe. But it's also only students. So when you finish your study, you have to move out and make a place for a new student. So at the moment we have 2 novatos living there, and 4 older guys, including the Jefe, because we change every year our boss. Yeah, that's what we do, and they are listening right now, because I just saw it on the app, so I cannot say anything bad about them.
Okay. Frank, Do you want to, and Erick, as I told you in the beginning in our pre-show, this is for you to participate, to ask, to say, to tell the world what you always wanted to tell about tuna.
The one thing that came to mind when Julia was mentioning about the support that they receive, I remember one time my wife and I went to one of the shopping centers in Toronto, and all of a sudden we hear this music, and I said to my wife, I said, that sounds like an Estudiantina. She's like, really? And then we start walking, and it was Luso-Can Tuna that was performing there. And I hadn't heard a live tuna for quite a while, and it definitely, even though it was in Portuguese that they were singing, for me it was totally transported me back to my days. Right, it was just there, and we stayed there, and we heard quite a few of their songs, and it's but the most interesting thing is that you could see the audience around Toronto being such a multicultural city. You could see that there were people from all backgrounds there enjoying the music. So I think that one of the beautiful things about any group that performs here is that you get people from all the world that can really appreciate and can really enjoy what you're doing for them. So that memory just came to mind as Julia was talking about it.
That's a wonderful memory. I think that was before I was in the Tuna, where they used to perform at Dufferin Mall in Toronto, which is within the Little Portugal area of Toronto. So I think it's I'm so glad that we provided that for you, and I think that it's just nice to know that there's other people who watch us and think that because sometimes people don't know what a tuna is here, or they haven't experienced it before. So it's nice to know that we have a tip of the hat from some people.
Oh, that's a great point you just mentioned now, which is I feel that sometimes we live very closed in our bubble, and we communicate to ourselves, and we tend to see tuna as a closed thing, and we do not communicate much to the outside. And that point that you just mentioned, what should we do? And now it's a kind of a brainstorming that I would like to have here to make us go out more and to make us be more recognized outside our bubble, because every single one of us, except of course one small curiosity like the Tuna House or the name of the mall that you guys performed, but what should we do? What can we do to promote the tuna outside people that already know what it is? So we need to get out of our bubble. And you, especially being abroad, how do you think that we could make it more effective, our communications, and what could we do to get out more? Pierre? No, Pepe? Sorry, Pepe.
Well, can you hear me?
Yep. Yes, perfectly.
I am in the Midwest, and in the Midwest, it's known as being a very practical people, pragmatic, hardworking, but conservative. And your new things that come into the Midwest sometimes take a long time to take root. It's not a knock. I mean, that's just the way this culture is in the Midwest. So if I take my example, I mean, this program is a great way to start that process, because I've had a couple of people here who I told them about the program because of work conditions and whatnot, they weren't able to see it live, but they were interested in seeing it later in a recording. And I will disseminate the recording to a lot of people here. But also in my case, I mean, I'm not going to form a tuna here because, well, I mean, there's just like a few of us, a few Latinos, and most people here have other interests in music. However, they do have an interest in knowing about other types of music or groups or cultures. So as soon as the pandemic is over, whenever that may be, I have committed myself to go to this group of people. They meet every Sunday to play music, like bluegrass, country, and other kinds of music. But, they are very interested in learning about other kinds of groups and cultures. So I say, hey, one day I'll go there. Hopefully it won't bore you. I'll tell you what the tuna is. I'll bring some of my instruments, say a little bit of the history. I'll play some recordings because, I play the lute, so I don't really play the melody. I play counterpoint, but nonetheless, give them a sense of what it is. And these are people that like music, by the way. They may have a particular interest in a certain type of music, but they like to hear about other kinds of music and other kinds of culture. So, you ask, what can we do? I think this is a good start. But, guys like me who are pretty much isolated over here can make a bigger effort at saying, hey, let me tell you about the tuna, especially to groups who are interested in knowing about other cultures. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
I can fly there with 4 or 5 of my guys.
Come on over.
Just let me know when.
Got a big house here, man. We got plenty of room for you guys.
You must name it.
And there's the basement, Cincinnati. By the way, but the basement has a certain room that's got the wine. I'm going to have that lock it up because I don't trust you guys.
Name it Cincinnati Tuna House, and it's a deal.
There you go.
I think that going out and do spontaneous musical sessions with 3-4 guys, that will do also the trick. Don't wait for somebody to contact you to go out and play. Just go out and play. Just the 4 of us, the 5 of you, the 3 of you, whatever. Make music in the bar, in the street, wherever you can, where you are allowed to. And people will start asking you questions, and people will come to you. And this is also how because we are not Latinos. There's 0 Latino. No, that's not true. We have some South Americans, but we have almost 0 Latinos in my tuna, and still people got interested to join. So I think, and also the Netherlands, there's a tuna in Maastricht, same story, no Latinos, and we are not their padrinos. So they also founded themselves something, and it's really good tuna. So I think that if you just go out and you play the music you like, and in this case tuna music, you can reach a lot. You can draw people in, but you can get contacts, make money, have fun. Everything's possible.
Erick, you work also in an area which could be very, your insight would be very, I would say, specialized and professional, because you work with video and publicity and advertising. So I think that definitely your input on this would be awesome. Bring it on, please.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned it, because, one of the things that really came to mind when you asked the question was the video from Kiko and the girls. And when I was watching it, I was like, what a great way to promote the tradition. But above all, it's that it's focusing on a younger generation. And I think that any approach that we do, I totally agree with Pierre about going out and playing and people will ask questions. But I think also trying to show the younger generation the fun that can be behind playing, the fun that is, behind learning songs. And I think there's also a lot of really nice traditions and a lot of experiences that one goes through when you are in a group, that definitely talking about that with the younger generation, telling them, if you're part of a Estudiantina, it's not only going to be the music, it's not only going to be you learning an instrument, it's the fact that you are going to be sharing so many experiences with people that on the long run, they actually become your friends. So I think showing to people not only the music, not only what the traditions are about, but also what is behind, would definitely make a difference. And like you were saying, I think nowadays we have different media. The fact that we're doing things like Tudi Live is a way of reaching an audience. But I do think one has to be probably a bit more purposeful in terms of, okay, if we want to reach a broader audience, what are we going to focus for the audience that does not know about what tuna is, right? Like I joke about it, but when people ask, I say, oh, I used to play in a musical group, and people go like, oh, a mariachi. And then I have to go, okay, here comes the explanation. Because if I say no in a tuna in English, people are like, what is this person talking about, right? Like, it's a fish or what's going on? So, it's I think being more purposeful about explaining to people, some of what for us is basic. And I think sometimes we feel like doing a video explaining, what the traditions are seems like so obvious. But I think if we want to reach that audience needs to know, what is this that we are wearing, right? What is a beca? What is our suits? What are the instruments? And so many other things. And if though that content is targeted that way, I think we can reach more of a larger audience.
Julia?
I think a way that we've found to reach a larger audience is, like how I was recruited. We go to classrooms in different universities that are teaching Portuguese studies. So you already have people who are interested in the culture, and then introducing them to tuna is kind of an eye opener in a way, because it's like Erick said, we try to focus on, of course it's a group where you sing and you learn music and you can learn Portuguese, but it's also that sense of family and community that you can get from it is kind of the, that's, people come for the music and then they stay for the friendship in a way, right? Because it very quickly becomes, a unifying force. And it's scientifically proven that, you play music with people and you bond, right? So, I think, that's a great way to reach out. And I think another way that we found is just wearing our traje proudly and everywhere we go. And then people go like, oh, what are you wearing? Are you guys a band? And then we say, yes, do you want to hear us? And we don't even wait for them to answer. We just start playing. And then we explain that, we're a tuna and we sound great. And usually that kind of gets people interested. We also play at public festivals that are not just Portuguese. We play at street festivals, and we try to attend events as a group. So we're showing a united front when we are out, and we're always trying to make sure we're representing the values of the tuna when we're out and about. So that way, when people see us, they know what we're about and how kind of serious we are about the message that we're trying to send. So yeah, I think that's how we've been able to kind of spread tuna in our way.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Kiko, now from Los Angeles.
Jaira is going to explain something very important to us.
Let's do.
So here in the community, especially Los Angeles, there's lots of Mexicans that follow that Mexican tradition, and they obviously know the mariachi and they know the banda. What they didn't know at one of our performances was that we were tagging along. A tuna was tagging along, and they just didn't know what it was. They sang, banda and mariachi sang a couple of songs, and then we shared the stage with both of them, and then we started singing our own songs. And obviously they questioned it. Well, some of them, because they didn't know who we were or where we had even came from. They had no idea what it was. But it was a very good experience to just be able to sing with them, even though they're very well known and we aren't. But we did put ourselves out there in a way where they were able to question and ask, how do I join, or where do I find you guys? How can I invite you guys to this community performance coming up next month? Or just things like that. Yeah.
I have a question for Kiko.
Yes.
Do you use the same about the ranks or the grades? Do you use the Pardillo stuff, or they can use
no
the
right now because right now no, because we don't have any support for any university right now. But we have 3 members right now. They are in the university, but we are in communication with support, but the pandemic screwed everything. That's why we wait till as soon as everything is back to the normal, we start talking again. Maybe we have UC, that's University of the Irvine, California.
No, I'm asking about the we use in the tunas just to grades or ranks. I don't know what.
Yes.
Pardillo and tuna. So you are tuno from your Estudiantina. Yes. So what are they?
We are Estudiantina. Right now we are Estudiantina. But I'm tuno right now. My child is a jefe de tuna. My child. Okay. Yeah. But our group right now, all together, is Estudiantina. As soon as we have any support for university, we're gonna call Estudiantina. Sorry, Tuna. Yeah, that's why they don't.
Understand now. Okay.
Okay, but Kiko, let me just tell you one thing. For example, we have some very good university tunas here in Portugal that are called Estudiantinas. So if you feel comfortable with the name, you don't need to change the name because it's exactly the same thing. Estudiantina Universitaria.
Estudiantina, right? Yeah.
But I can tell you, for example, two very good or three very good tunas here in Portugal. They are called Estudiantinas or Estudantina. We have Coimbra, Estudantina Universitária de Coimbra, Estudantina Universitária de Lisboa, Estudantina do Isel. So three very good and very old tunas here in Portugal that are called Estudiantinas. So if that's the reason just to for you to change the name, don't do it, man. Just keep it as it is. We don't want to teach. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing.
I think it's more commercial for us to keep the name.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, to keep the name for Estudiantina.
If it's composed by universitarians, it's Estudiantina Universitaria, period. So that's the only difference.
And you have Estudiantina de la Universidad de Guanajuato, Estudiantina de la Universidad Autónoma de Querétaro. So, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we decided to keep the name, but sometimes they're asking, if you are Tuna or you're Estudiantina. And I think definitely we are Estudiantina.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Okay, so now I will pass another video. We still have some content tonight, and we're gonna watch the video. I think it's from back in 2019, not long ago, the 21st anniversary of Luso-Can Tuna, in a report of Gente da Nossa TV. Let's watch it.
E bom dia mais uma vez a todos os telespectadores que me fazem companhia de costa a costa no Canadá e também nas Bermudas através da City TV, assim como em todo o mundo no nosso portal da gentetv.com. É um prazer estar convosco para apresentar o programa Gente Nossa de sábado, dia 12 de outubro. Espero que tiveram uma boa semana e obrigada pela sua companhia. Vamos iniciar o programa de hoje com o Mátio Correia, que vai apresentar um segmento qual ele teve presente há algum tempo atrás, um evento da Luso-Can Tuna.
Hoje vou apresentar música e a música que apresentamos é do Luso-Can Tuna. A única tuna existente na América do Norte celebrou o seu 21º aniversário e Gente Nossa esteve presente. Trago até si a reportagem. O agrupamento tradicional Luso-Can Tuna celebrou o seu 21º aniversário no salão do Pearson Convention Center, em Brampton. Familiares, amigos, antigos membros, patrocinadores e comunicação social estiveram presentes para mostrar o seu apoio e felicitar a Tuna.
Nós somos compostos de estudantes que continuam a tradição da cultura portuguesa no Canadá.
A vice-presidente da Câmara de Toronto, a vereadora Ana Bailão, foi uma das fundadoras desta tuna durante a sua atividade universitária e falou dos primeiros tempos, prestando homenagem aos antigos elementos da tuna durante as suas 2 décadas de existência.
Há 21 anos, e estamos a falar no fim dos anos 90, houve realmente um grupo de jovens que sentia que havia a necessidade de haver uma maior aproximação entre os jovens daqui e os jovens de Portugal, porque havia um desconhecimento muito grande. Naquela altura nós não tínhamos internet ainda, não tínhamos Facebook, nem Twitter, nada disso. E então nós tínhamos uma necessidade, muitos de nós tinham chegado há pouco tempo ainda de Portugal e sentíamos que nas nossas escolas, nas nossas universidades, não havia um conhecimento do que era um Portugal moderno, de onde é que nós vínhamos.
O evento serviu como propósito angariar fundos para trazer a TAUA, Tuna Universitária dos Açores, madrinha deste grupo, em digressão ao Canadá, como explicou a Gente TV, a atual magistra Sandy Costa.
Então, quando é que a Tuna da Universidade dos Açores, a TAUA, pretende vir aqui a Toronto?
Nós estamos a ver se eles podem vir para o ano 2020,
Tem a data específica?
Ainda não temos nada específico, só porque eles também para o ano têm o festival deles, o eventos que acontece em março, que é quando é o nosso aniversário mesmo, é em março. Agora é só mesmo ver qual data é que dá para toda a gente.
Na recepção do salão estava exposto uma exposição fotográfica do grupo, algumas capas, pandeiretas e ainda CDs gravados por esta tuna ao longo dos anos.
Mas dizem aí 6º aniversário, é o 6º.
Alguns dos atuais elementos falaram para a Gente TV sobre a razão que os levou a participar na Luso-Can Tuna.
Faz somente 2 anos que eu me mudei do Brasil para cá, não tinha muitos amigos. Depois de um programa de verão para alunos lusofonos na York University, conheci a Luso-Can Tuna, e a Luso-Can Tuna é um bom método não só de participar da cultura portuguesa, mas também para conhecer novas pessoas e amigos aqui no Canadá.
Eu participo na Tuna porque eu já comecei há um ano e eu acho que é uma maneira muito divertida para aprender mais um bocadinho de português e tocar música com jovens com interesses.
Being part of the Tuna, it's really important to me because not only am I part of a group of really great people, but I get to be with like-minded individuals as well, and I also get to be connected to my culture. So it's a part of being connected to my culture and also being part of the Luso-Canadian community as well.
Em noite de aniversário, o grupo anfitriã subiu ao palco para cantar e tocar variantes modas do seu repertório tradicional. No final da atuação, os ex-elementos presentes na sala subiram ao palco para se juntarem todos em uníssono e cantarem algumas melodias, demonstrando que juntos fazem a força da Luso-Can Tuna.
Very good. So this is the example, the local TV of the Portuguese Canadian community, Gente da Nossa, and their report on the 21st anniversary 2 years ago. So it's already 23 years old. It's a very beautiful age for a tuna founded in North America. It's congratulations. I already said this when Sandy was here. My Portuguese heart is filled with pride whenever I see anything about you guys. Thank you very much for doing what you do. It's really an honor.
Well, thank you for saying that. That definitely warms my heart, and I'm sure the tuna watching is very very grateful for that comment as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I want to real quick. I want to build on something that somebody said before, and I think it was you, Eric, about tuna. When people ask me what is a tuna, I actually start by telling them it's a folk group. But very quickly, then it's a folk group that's called a tuna, and then right after that, I said, "And no fish jokes, please," because I take that personally. And then I explained to them, you know, the trajectory, the different theories of where it originated, the camaraderie that exists, right? And what we learn about life in the tuna, the relationships, the brotherhood and sisterhood. And all these things, the music is the visible manifestation of tuna, but there's just so much that goes on. You share experiences, whether it's rehearsing, whether it's presenting yourself, traveling, and then they start to understand a little bit about that. And you know, this group I told you that gets together every Sunday, and I minimize what they do. They do a lot. I mean, they play music of just bluegrass, country, their own compositions, folk music. It's really a very cool group. Unfortunately, time has gotten in my way, and I'm not able to join them as much as I would like. But I liked when I went there. I really liked the camaraderie I also felt there, because what you said, Julia, music united them all. And you know, we don't care about politics or whatever. It's just we were there to enjoy the music, and I think that is the end for me anyway. To say, let me tell you more about what a tuna is.
Oh, there is one thing that I forgot to mention. Sorry, it's that in this small piece that we saw about Luso-Can Tuna, we heard a little bit of the original song of theirs that we talked a while ago, Kappa on the Floor. So that part that they were mentioning, it's one of their original songs, and that mixes Portuguese with some English with some Portuguese expressions. So we heard a little bit, but it's available on YouTube and Luso-Can Tuna, so it's just Googling it, and you'll eventually get there. Kappa's like in Spanish, so quite easy.
If I understood correctly, at the end of the performance, you invited former members to come on to stage to play, right? Because
yes, yeah.
When I this was not with the tuna, but when I was with the Estudiantina in our high school, every year at the end of we would have a performance, and the very last song we would play, Fonseca, Las calles están mojadas, and then the former students that had left, you know, high school, and they could be from different generations, would come, and we would always invite them over to come on stage and play with us. And so that little bit of the video reminded me of that, and it's a very special feeling. And you know, when you're playing with the group, you don't realize what that means. You are just, yeah, you know, all the former members come on top. But the day you become a former member, like the day, you know, I was not anymore in high school and I was invited for the first time, is such a special feeling. And I guess it goes back to what Pepe was talking about, the friendships that you form and everything else that is part of the group, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is for me, there is a not former member in a tuna tradition. But I remember that you said this question is, you know, you said, if I understand correctly, Eric, that you knew your mother-in-law at first, prior to your wife.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. So I can do brackets. When I went to study in British Columbia, my dad was working with a company from Vancouver, and you know, I certainly knew the language and everything to be able to study. But he said to me, you know, there is one person that is originally from Mexico, that is working at the company. She lives now in Vancouver. So if you need anything, it's better if you have somebody that speaks the language. They have been living there. Any questions, you can ask them. So anyway, I met this person, this lady, her name Guadalupe. I didn't know she was going to become my mother-in-law. So I met her. She was very helpful and everything. And then at some point, she introduced me to her daughter. And, when you're a student, you have a very tight budget. So I was actually I was eating noodles with canned tuna, the fish. that was basically my diet. And, she would invite me over for Mexican food. And interestingly enough, I would bring my mandolin and I would play some songs when she invited me, right? So it was just me playing with them. So I don't know if it was the music or what it was, but then, yeah, she introduced me to her daughter. So the joke is, if she ever gets really angry at me and she doesn't want to see me anymore, the only person she can blame is herself, right?
Anyway, the music did the work.
Yes.
It did. So now, Kiko, what do you want to say right now? Because you are participating, not much, you and your Estudiantina. So now we want to hear a little bit more from your end. So as I told you in the beginning, we want you also to interact directly and to leave a message here if you want. So
yeah, I wanna say something. This is very special for me. 2 years ago, when our group was invited to go to Querétaro, our invitation was very. I think it's a lot of pressure for us and the group because it was the first time when traveling to Mexico. And that time, I don't have my visa to go to Mexico. And I was with a nervous practice with the kids and learning the songs, practice the songs, and my visa, they don't came. What's going on? I was waiting for my visa. And then the time passed, and almost 2 or 3 days, I say to everybody, guys, I feel sorry, but I can't go with you guys. And I know you guys are very talented, are very passionate to that music, and then I think you're gonna do very, very good job. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And then they go to that presentation with Don Me, and they play really good. When I see the video they play in the big theater, I think was in the city. I don't know the name for the big. There's a huge theater, a lot of people. I never say that, but I was crying in my own house watching those kids how to play, and I was say, why I'm not there? Why I'm not with them? I was feeling frustrated, but I think, well, maybe it's coming something better things for our group. And now we are here.
Yeah.
So they lived up to the responsibility.
How do you feel in that time?
It was challenging only because we learned everything because of him, and it was our first time in the big stage with the big leagues, you can say. And we didn't really know, we didn't know at all what to expect. And it was very, very nerve-wracking for all of us. But yeah, we would call him in on, he would say, oh, it's okay. But in reality, I know all of us were scared because he wasn't there with us. But we got through it.
Well, I have to congratulate you, Kiko, for starting it, and all of you who are there, because it's a great accomplishment to what you've done so far. And I'm sure there will be more accomplishments.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we will have another video. It's not of any of the tunas, but as you guys always, the ones that already watched Tudi live in the past months, I don't know, but I think that we've been doing this like since September or something like that, right, Frank?
Yeah,
something like that. So a weekly show since September. This is crazy. So one of the things that we do is that we present some of the hobbies and some of the professions of our members of Tudi, of Tunos Decanos de Iberoamérica. So today we had a challenge, which was, since the program is in English, we wanted to have someone presenting their hobby in English. I didn't know what he was going to prepare. If I knew that it was going to be this, I wouldn't have let him because, man, I already have dinner, but I think I will be hungry again after watching this. So let's watch a video from our brother, from our friend in Puerto Rico, Pulgarcito, Javier, the guy that is in charge of all the videos that we see here in this show. So he did one more for this show, showing us his hobby. Let's see what Pulgarcito does.
Hey guys, how you doing? Pulgarcito here, Javier Fontanes. Little Tum Thumb, that's my nickname in Tuna América de Puerto Rico, and also here in Tudi, Tunos Decanos de Iberoamérica. I was thinking, what can I tell you guys about what my favorite thing to do is? Well, as you can see, I'm a pretty big guy and I enjoy eating, so my pastime is cooking. So I figured I would show you a traditional dish that I normally do here in Puerto Rico, and I hope you like it. We're gonna be doing some arroz con habichuelas guisado. Some people call it mamposteado. If you add some sweet plantains to the dish, you can call it arroz jíbaro. So I hope you guys like it. We're gonna be eating some rice, of course. We're gonna be using some salted pork. We're gonna have some garlic, some pink beans, or habichuelas as we call them. Some of you call them frijoles. We're gonna use some tomato sauce, some sazon Goya. This is anato seed, and it gives color. It's kind of orange, and it gives a nice color to the rice. That, if you don't know what it is, you should. It's called sofrito, and nothing happens in the culinary world in Puerto Rico without sofrito. That's olive oil. We got some onions and some bay leaves. This is really important too. So let's get this show on the road. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set the temperature on our stove. Yeah, let's put it there. We're gonna get this. This is called a caldero. We call it caldero. Some people call it olla, but this is steel. So, well, I think it's aluminum anyways. This is what we're gonna use to do our arroz con habichuelas. We need a lid. This is essential. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get some olive oil. We're gonna put a little bit here. That's a lot, right? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not one of those cooks that, measures everything. So I keep putting in stuff until I think it's right. And if you hear a noise, that's my dog outside. Don't mind him. So yeah, like I was saying, I normally don't measure a lot. The only time I really do measure is when I'm doing baking, because if you don't measure when you're baking, then, stuff really hits the fan and it doesn't work. So that's when I'm really cautious when it comes to measuring. But when I'm cooking like regular food, like everyday food, I don't measure as much, except for maybe the salt, because there's a saying, you can't take away salt, but you can always put a little bit afterwards when you're done. And if food is too salty, then it's no good. So yeah, we got some olive oil now heating here. And when that's heated up, we're gonna start adding some stuff in. All right. So it seems our oil is pretty hot. I'm gonna put this in here. And we're gonna brown it, okay? This is gonna give the rice a really, really good flavor. If you don't eat pork, you can always cut this step out. But personally, I think this makes the rice. Sizzling and crackling here, right? The ham is getting really brown, golden, and really crunchy. Not that crunchy, but you know, crisp. You see that in the bottom? You see that lovely color on there? That's the rendering of the fat. That's a font. And that is pure flavor, my friends. Pure flavor. That's going to be added into our rice and beans when we add the rest of the aromatics. We're going to be putting some onions down so that we can brown those. There's onions here that we put here. Watch out the table. All right. We're going to mix those a little bit. Let those get some color. So right now, it's all nice and happy. All together. I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. See that? See that nice fond in the bottom? That's not burnt. That's the fat, which is rendered now with the flavor of the onions, the sweet onions. They're to the point of caramelization. And we're gonna add some more aromatics. We're gonna add, here's my trusty metal spoon. You see this spoon? This is basic. You need this type of spoon to cook in Puerto Rico. You see, this is like our grandmothers used to use. This in the caldero. Only before they used to do it on fire logs. Used to call it fogón, a big fire. And in the old times, they didn't have electricity or running water like that. In the countryside, they would have these cabins, right? And they would have like maybe a brick area that would be the kitchen, and they would have the fogón there, the fire, and they would put this big old caldero, a big pan like this, and that's where they would cook. So we're gonna put a little garlic. That's garlic that we just put there. So this is the next ingredient, Sofrito, and nothing happens in Puerto Rican kitchen without Sofrito. That's a crap lot of sofrito that I put in there, but I like the flavor. So let's put some tomato sauce in there. What do you think? Just a little bit, not too much. Get that real good there. And we're gonna use some bay leaf. This is basic in Puerto Rican cuisine. And we're also gonna get the sazon. Just like an apple seed. Sazon accent. All right. Now we're gonna add our beans. Mix those two. The rice. Washed and clean. We're gonna put it in here. And mix it. Guess what I figured out how to do? Yeah. Mix this right here. This is the way you do it. I figured it out. It's a learning curve, right? So after we mix this real good, the only thing we have left to do here is cover this in water. And normally the rule of thumb is for each cup of rice that you have in there, you put a cup of water. So if we had 2.5 cups of rice, we're gonna put in 2.5 cups of water. So we put the water, and you have the rice, bubbling. We're gonna stir a little bit to keep it from sticking. But what we're gonna do is, we're gonna cover this after we mix it. We're gonna leave it in medium temperature. We're gonna cover it, and we're not gonna open it till it's done. So the rice is cooking. We're gonna leave it on medium temperature for about 30 to 45 minutes. You can check it, but don't open it. That's the crucial part here. Don't open the caldero, the lid, for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. The difference between the thing that I like about my pastime is that in many cases a pastime usually is for personal enjoyment, right? But in this case, my pastime, my hobby, is something that, when done right, gives joy and pleasure to other people who enjoy the fruits of my labor, as you say. Let's do this. Smells amazing. This is the part that really sucks because I can't share it with you. Buen provecho.
I'm hungry now.
Yep. I told you that this was kind of a section where we would have a mix of hobby and torture. So we were just tortured. Yeah, it reminded me a lot also the arroz habichuela. I just missed the carne for it to be the Dominican Republic flag, as they call it, la bandera. It's arroz habichuela y carne. It's great, man. So, Javi, please, don't show us that. No,
Frank,
sorry.
was this a typical Puerto Rican dish?
It's a typical rice. It's not a typical dish per se. You can put beef or something, or pork. It's you can put together, or that can mix it.
Mix, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so now when sometimes I tell you that whenever I'm working with Pulgarcito and making the videos and content for these shows, it looks like crazy people talking, because we mix Spanish and sometimes English and even sometimes when I have to swear or curse, I do it in Portuguese. So it's funny to to follow us in this kind of brainstorming and preparation for these shows, because sometimes English is easier when we are talking about video terms and everything. And he's a fantastic guy. Thank you very much. He did it like in 24 hours notice. So he made it happen together with the remaining videos. Is an awesome guy. Thank you, Javi. Pulgarcito, he's the man.
Excellent job. Yes.
Yeah. So now we are approaching almost 1 hour 50 of show. It's crazy how time flies when we are in such a pleasant chat. I know, Frank, that probably today you won't be able to be with us until the end. I still have one more video. It's of the about the Tuna Festival and from Tuna Ciudad de Luz. So I don't know, whenever you feel like you have to live to your appointment that you have, just tell me and I will pass you the word for you to have the final words of your participation. Okay?
Okay.
No,
10 minutes more. 10 more.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so if you guys agree, I will now pass the video of the Tuna Festival. You will talk a little bit about it. Then Frank will say goodbye, and we will all end the chat with our final words. So let's see what you guys prepared. It was in the 50th anniversary of Tuna Ciudad de Luz, right, Pierre?
Yes, this was from our festival in 2014, yes.
Okay. So let's see how you do it in Holland, in Eindhoven.
we zijn hier bij de doop en hier worden eigenlijk de eerstejaarsleden van de Tuna of van een andere club voor hier gedoopt en moeten dan naar beneden van de glijbaan poedelnaakt.
Bajo la luna de Valencia en tu balcón, como ningún beso nos irá adelante, entonces tú me entregarás tu corazón. Marina kleine café aan de haven, daar zit de meisjes blij en tevreden. Daar in dat kleine café aan de haven, daar de bel mooie mens en ik ben mee.
Como late el corazón. Ay, cuando bailo con mi amor. Ay, 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 ay.
Como late el corazón.
Thank you.
Very well. So, Frank, I miss the pasacalles, do I?
Yes, you miss always.
Let me just answer to Katarina. She's been very participative tonight. These round tables, even though this one is the first in English, but we do have them every week. Now we're doing them always on Thursday at this time. So be our guest. To, of course, every week it's in Spanish, but I think that it's fair to say that with the acceptance that we got this evening, I think that we must make more in English. That this is
I'm there.
You're there. Thank you very much. Okay. So, Frank, I know that you must leave now. So I don't know if you want to comment on the video that we just watched from Eindhoven and be my guest.
The video, I have a good memory from Eindhoven. It's one of the most favorite places to do the tuna, you know. I recognize some friends in that video, in a couple of tunas. So, but I have to go right now, Paulo. I like to thank to all of you, my dear friends, Pierre, Pepe, Julie, Kiko, and Eric. You know, right now we are. For me, is the first time in a chat like this, talking in English. No, it's not my first language, but I'm trying. You know, and as always, I think this was an excellent opportunity to learn from you guys, from your places, from your tuna, and I challenge you to keep on in working in this tradition. At this time I'm in the process of retirement, so maybe you're gonna see me in your places soon. I'm gonna travel with 2 or 3 guys, they are in the same process, so I'm gonna travel. First God, as the Mexican says, first God. So nice to meet you, nice to see you again. I hope to see you soon.
Always welcome in the Netherlands, Frank.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you very much.
From my heart. Bye.
Okay, so now we're almost with 2 hours of broadcast, and we need to start thinking of how to end this very pleasant roundtable tertulia that we had today. So, Misha is saying that Frank is always welcome in Eindhoven. Eindhoven really welcomes people. That's true. I can say that first person, my experience. Yeah, and it was nice to see. And we didn't even hear you here on that the Tuna Festival. And what memories does it? Because it was already 2014. Time flies, man. It's crazy. Yes, I saw some very good friends over there. 41 de Valencia, also from Malaga, Quarentuna. Very, very good friends that I saw, and of course the young guys from my Tuna, from Portucalense, there with someone holding that bandera. I think it was from your Tuna, if I'm not mistaken, right? With
no, actually we changed the suits. So this were all guys from your Tuna, but they had some of our suits on.
I knew, but I wanted you to explain, because that was more or less like our hermanamiento started. Was in a festival in Portugal where we exchanged trajes. So we don't have becas. So instead of exchanging becas, we wore their traje and they wore ours. So it was funny, to say the least.
Yes. It was a big mix and a lot of fun. And so for us at that time, we don't often go to Portuguese festivals and certainly not at that time. Because we sing in Spanish. So we were invited by your Tuna, and it was very funny. We immediately had a good vibes, good click. We kept on coming. I think this is your festival, apart from my own, of course, because there are a lot, but your festival I've visited 5 or 6 times, and I cannot say that of other festivals. Most of the times I visit once or twice, and then we are looking for something new. So but yes, indeed. So we try to make fun. We try to have a lot of contacts. We try to invite people from all over the world. We like to be our festival international, but that's of course easy because. Most tunas come from abroad, in my case. So yeah, we always like to have a very mixed festival and have basically not looking at the quality level of the music, but more at the friendship level. So we like to have fun. See tunas that like to interact with the people. We have about 5 to 10,000 visitors at our festival in the big tent, and there's a lot of interaction. So sometimes you have festivals where people are in the stage and far away from the audience. In our case, that's not the case. So you're close on and you're interacting. And that's a lot of fun. And that's also how I approach Tuna. Try to have a lot of fun and a lot of interaction with the people around you, with your own group, with a group that you like, another Tuna that you are making friends with, but also with the audience. Doesn't matter as long as you have fun and interact.
So, Julia, and about the festival that Luso-Can Tuna organizes every year, how many editions does your festival already have?
Sorry, pardon me, editions?
how many festivals so far? How many times has it been organized?
Well, we do a yearly dinner where we perform and fundraise. But we're actually trying to do more festivals as we move forward with other tunas. So we actually have one coming up called Fitka in Casa. So it's a live stream festival where we've asked tunas from Portugal and the Netherlands and Mexico to send us their videos, and we're going to have it online June 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if anyone wants to tune in. So we were trying to take advantage of the situation right now. Everyone's at home, but instead of being, obviously it's a very difficult time for everybody, but we thought that it's a great opportunity to use technology to our advantage. So hopefully moving forward, we can do that. And we're hoping to also bring our godparents Tawa over eventually. So stay tuned for that. And if anyone is in Canada or coming through Toronto, please let us know. We are always looking for new friends. And we would be more than welcome. We'd be more than excited to have everyone. Maybe one day we'll have everyone over here in Canada.
That's very good to hear. Kiko, in Los Angeles, do you see any possibility of, in a near future, organizing festival or encuentro or whatever of tunas and estudiantinas?
Yeah, we was planning last year. We was planning one encuentro de tunas y estudiantinas. We tried to invite Estudiantina de la Universidad Autónoma de Querétaro, and I think Cuarentuna Universitaria too. But everything is screwed up for the pandemic. Now we start working again, working and talking, knocking the doors to see if we can do any festival. We normally every year presentations. We are going to LA County Festival and Orange County Festival. Those are major festivals in Orange County and LA. But I think it's time to build our own festival. Waiting for, the pandemic definitely stopped everything for us.
Not everything. There are some good things that came from the pandemic. One of them was Tudi and Tudi Live. So at least not everything was lost. Not everything was lost. So let's see the glass half full, not half empty. Okay. So now, before we pass to the final words of each and every one of you, I would like to leave here a question. So what do you think that Tudi, as an organization that already has more than 150 members worldwide, and Pierre, we definitely need to update the intro of our show because we need to include the Netherlands in that video, because for those that do not know, Pierre is our delegate in Holland since a couple of weeks ago. So this show was also to welcome him and whoever he wants to bring from Holland to this brotherhood. But what I really wanted to know is, what do you feel, or what do you think? How can Tudi be of assistance for you guys that encounters that are not easy to maintain the tradition? How can we help? That's what I would like to hear from you. And if it's okay with you, I will start with you, Kiko. Okay?
Well, right now, like this presentation, like this program for us is very important. We can share it to different people, and they learning now where's the tuna, where's the estudiantinas. Like this program is really good for us because our major communications in USA is English. And I think with this program, I think this is a very good starter. Second one is maybe supporting new groups. Or like, it's one example, like we have 100-something members, right? If
150 something, yeah.
Try to build one group, the younger boys or younger girls. I think we need to work with the new generations. I think it's the only way we can keep these traditions better for us, better for the future. Well, this is my opinion. Let me ask one of my
That's it.
What do you think? What are you learning in this group? What do you think?
I think it's a good experience because you learn like other traditions and you learn a lot more about our tradition.
See, it was almost the same. Like if you guys teaching this beautiful tradition, they're gonna learn it, and they're gonna pass to another younger ladies or boys. In this field is passing the tradition. But this is the moment to start. This is my opinion. What do you think?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So Pepe, what do you think? You was our, let's say, striker, number 9 in USA.
Well, personally, I'll talk personally first, and then I want to change it a little bit. I mean, personally, these shows keep me in contact with the tuna. Not just, me personally enjoying these tertulias and Tudi lives, but also knowing what other tunas are doing around the world. And that's very important to me because, as I said, 15 years ago, I reconnected. And that connection just keeps getting stronger and stronger every day. It's unfortunate that the pandemic came around, but like you said, we did get some good things out of it because it's, curtailed a couple of trips that I had planned, of course, to Bolivia for our Tudi event, for Spain, and others that I had planned as well. But these programs to me are incredibly important because they keep me connected. So just by doing this, I feel supported. And no tuna that I've reached out to say, hey, can you give me a hand on this? I've never said no. They always do something for me. So that's important for me. But the twist I wanted to give it also is that let's not forget that we have 2 members, Mauricio and Humberto in Ecuador and El Salvador, who need a lot of help. And, Humberto is sometimes, I think, a little too humble on what he's doing. I think he's doing a tremendous job. And he needs a lot of help from us, as well as Mauricio in Ecuador. So the ones that are here, I mean, yes, we appreciate this. And this program is great. And continuing to and the learnings we're getting from each other is tremendously important to me. But let's not forget, we have a couple of other members that require help.
Yes, they do. Just, Pepe, I think that today we are communicating to a totally different audience. I would say, of course, some. So please be my guest in explaining who is Humberto and who is Mauricio Viteri.
Okay, so Humberto is an individual, one of the delegate, really, of Tudi in El Salvador. And he created, similar to Kiko, Estudiantina. And he, he has very few resources, but he is teaching these kids. He's getting music from Tuna. He's getting music sheets, and he's teaching them. They're learning, and he's trying also to instill in them what the Tuna is, what the Estudiantina is beyond the music. He was very passionate in one of the programs we had, where we had El Salvador and Ecuador, and that really touched me. By the way, personally, that really touched me, and I've tried to help him in any way I can. The same with Mauricio in Ecuador, who is literally keeping the tradition alive there by doing his part of the effort. So he's the delegate of Ecuador, by the way. So these are 2 members that have the tuna in their blood, and single-handedly, they're trying to maintain their tradition in their respective countries, just like Kiko is doing in Los Angeles. So,
Pepe, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What do they need? Because you said they need our help, but what do they need?
I think more than anything, it's moral support, Pierre. And like in the case of Humberto, who has reached out, say, I just need lyrics from songs and the music, so I can take that. He teaches music and teach the kids. Humberto also reached out to me and said, hey, do you think there's any way that I could take my kids to the U.S.? Is there any financial help? So, well, I don't know, and I am looking into that, by the way. So I think moral support, Pierre, right now is the most important piece of that.
I know that some of our members, especially from Querétaro, from Estudiantina, the Autónoma de Querétaro, support him, and I've already invited him to join him on stage with, and it was a very touching moment for him. And of course, I think, and I fully agree with you. It's one of the things that we said in that show that we should, and we definitely need not to forget that we committed to it, to have some Zoom sessions with his kids, with the Estudiantina de Luz, and not to forget that we promised that, and we should be held accountable for having promised that and not yet have fulfilled what we said we would do. So if you agree with me, I'm putting you in charge of banging everyone's head in the WhatsApp groups until we do it. Okay?
You're doing a foco on me, aren't you?
A little bit. So
I like to put people on the spot. That since you're here now.
Since you're here now, no, it's
no. I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to do it.
Thank you very much. So very, very good points, Erick.
What can I say? From my point of view, I think Tudi is doing a great job. The fact that every week you are organizing, these shows, the WhatsApp groups. I feel that every time somebody needs support, like if it's put on the WhatsApp group, we've seen some other kind of support beyond what Pepe was saying, right? In the WhatsApp group, sometimes somebody, needs X or Y, and they always have somebody that says, "Oh, I can help." I can tell you that from my point of view, I think it's more of a personal commitment from my end to be able to participate more, and that's the part that for me I sometimes find difficult. I don't want to start giving here a list of all the things that personally would be doing, but there are moments in which I can tell you I feel guilty that I don't have the time to participate. And it's just because of the different things that one is involved with. But nevertheless, I think that as long as we know that the opportunity is here to participate, to watch the shows, I think that's the most important thing to keep the tradition alive and to continue connecting with everybody else. Shows like these in which we're able to connect with a neighbor that's very close, like Julia, and it's already knowing as soon as we're able to gather physically. So I think that is already a support that is there to connect beyond, right? Getting to know Pierre as well, Kiko, and Pepe. We are already connected, but I think these type of shows do help a lot. I think the platforms are there. I don't think there's anything else that I could say right now. This is what Tudi has to do. If anything, is just continuation with what is been happening. I think that's the most important. And hopefully, once the pandemic allows us to, meet in person, I think that we're going to see a big change the moment that we're able to gather physically, play together, because I think this has created a very interesting bond. So the day we see people, it'll be a different approach, right? People that, if not every week, every other week, or every 3 weeks, we happen to see in a chat or in a show. So I think you guys are doing a great job. That's what I think.
Thank you very much. Pierre, I know that you're one of the most recent members in Tudi, but by what you've seen so far, what do you think that we can help, and specifically in this question of, let's call it the tunas and tunos in diaspora?
Yeah, I have to agree with Erick a lot. So I find it very interesting to learn about all these groups that I didn't even know existed, which is very interesting. And I want to know more. So it's if anything, it raised my interest. My view was pretty limited to some Mexican tunas, some Puerto Rican tunas, and of course Spain and Portugal. And it's very interesting that there are groups, that there are more countries, and that this culture is spreading further and further, or it has spread, because I now learned it's already 23 years in Canada. I didn't know that. So it's very interesting, and I think that it's very that is for me the thing about Tudi. So learning more and getting friends all over the world. That's for me the most interesting thing. And at a certain moment, as Erick also said, when we will be able to travel, it would be interesting then to see some of you in real life and playing. That would be the cherry on the pie.
Thank you very much, Julia.
I think that, even before we went live, we were talking about going back to in-person practice and the strategy around that. And Paulo brought up some really great points. So I think that, like communicating with each other about our approaches and what we, the things we, like, not the things, specifically struggling on, but, even just like from chatting with each other, like new ideas and new ways of doing things can come about. So I think that continuing to communicate and making sure we're using the technology to our advantage to maintain the community is, I think, going to be the best thing and the most interesting thing moving forward. So we would love to like keep in contact with everyone. And I think that is kind of the, something great that Tudi is doing. You've brought all of us together, and now going forward, although we are like, alone in Canada, we're not, alone in the fact that we are tunas like in different pockets of the world. So I think it's really great to just continue having these conversations, and, being able to be a part of this is wonderful. Thank you so much for including us and bringing all of us together, Paulo.
Thank you very much. Okay, so now after this question that I placed, let's say the people that have already participated know that we have space for, as if this was a political debate or something, for the final words before we say goodbye. So let's follow the same order. And first, I need to apologize to the girls there. This is being, I can imagine, quite boring for them just to be sitting there. But thank you so much for having been with us during this show. It's you've been so well behaved. I'm really proud of you for putting up with all these old guys and that beautiful girl up there. So, so Kiko, please.
Thank you first of all, say thank you all the members. Few they are working and few are at the school, but everyone is very important. And say thank you to my wife, because she's supporting me. She represented me when the group was in Mexico, Querétaro. And say thank you for our padrinos, la Universidad Estudiantina de la Universidad Autónoma de Querétaro. I hope one day Julia invite us to the festival in Canada. Why not? We go to you to visit you, right, Julie?
or we'll come to you. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we're talking later.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, everybody. Right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kiko and girls. Thank you very much for having been here. Pepe.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Paulo and Frank, because I know that putting these programs takes a lot of work. And of course, Pulgarcito does all the video stuff. Having participated in one, helping you make one, the Tudi USA Canada, I mean, I know Erick and I worked a lot. I thought, oh my God, I mean, this is a lot more work than we expected. So thank you very much for keeping this going. It's just a great program, a great way of keeping Tudi not just together, but informing the world. And thank you also to Julia, Pierre, Kiko, and Erick for being here. It's great.
Says, until our last breath and our body can sustain us.
Thank you very much, Erick. So, Pierre.
Yes, Erick is stealing all my my words. So I will just say Tuno for life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Short brief. That's it. The Dutch way.
That's right.
Okay. So, Julia.
I just want to say again, thank you for having us. And it's really interesting to hear everyone's unique perspective. And I hope that we can continue to communicate and continue to foster the community of tunas around the world. And I think that hopefully we can see all of each other in person one day soon.
Well, thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much, all of you that accepted our invitation to be here today talking about tunas and their experience of making tuna happen in countries where Portuguese or Spanish are not the main language. And we had so very, very good examples of that. Also of our tunos in the diaspora, like Pepe and Erick, both in USA and Canada, to keep the spark alive and to keep as two of the most active members that we have in Tudi. And this is also a way of showing our appreciation for them being there on a daily basis and pushing us to the limit. This was also for us, and now I talk in the name of the team, a challenge, and we do love a good challenge. We do love to okay, why not make let's do it in English. It hasn't been done before in Tudi. Okay, let's do it. I think it's better to do something and then regret not having done it properly than to regret not doing it. So that's always what we try to do, and to push our limits and to run the extra mile. That's what we are here for, to innovate and to do things differently and do things that haven't been done before. And I think that today, and I would like to live this almost as a reflection. We talk a lot about our bubble, and sometimes we tend to talk too much to each other, and we sometimes get lost in those tiny little bits and pieces of fundamentalisms that lead nowhere. And as I was telling Kiko when he was a little bit worried about the nomenclature or the name that he should call his group, Tuna, Estudiantina, if it's universitary, should it be? No, it shouldn't. So instead, and this would be like my final message for today, instead of losing time with all those small stuff, let's appreciate people that are making it happen. They are making it happen. They are doing it. They don't lose time in thinking prior if the name is correct or what. No, they do it. And this is a show that I would like to dedicate to the doers that make it happen in Canada, to the doers that for 50-something years have made it happen in Holland, to the doers like Kiko and his group of fantastic girls in Los Angeles. Because you guys, you do it. And we, and now I'm talking in the name of Tudi, we thank you for that. This is our way of showing our appreciation for you perpetuating the tradition, with us here on this end clapping, respecting the way you do it. You do it the best you can, and you must be praised for it. So to all of you, thank you very much. So with this message and those mute claps, all of you clapping, but I can imagine that you were. It is time to say goodbye to this show. I will leave the option open for a second show also in English. Hopefully when we already have, let's say, some videos that you can show of the post-pandemic to see how your first rehearsals were. So this is my challenge to you, is please record them so that we can document that. And on that second show that we have in English, we can already have some videos of what you are doing in terms of rehearsals, but physically. I like, of course, it's awesome to see you guys in these rectangles here, but I'm getting so tired of these rectangles, you cannot imagine. I want to see real tuna in real life with everyone talking at the same time and playing at the same time. So this is a challenge. Please record it. We will be here to use the platform, the global platform that we have, to show the world of tuna, and of course, every time more and more to show it to everyone else what you guys are doing after the pandemic. Once again, thank you very much. And to close, let's live as our little tradition, the cumpleaños, the aniversarios of our members that in this past week have celebrated one more anniversary, one more birthday. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.